Hello YouTube, welcome back to another episode on my build series. Last episode we was talking about power problems. I believe I have solved that with my new nuclear power plant. What we're looking at here is 16 nuclear power plants. And I had to build several other factories just to get this up and running. So the next couple of videos I'll probably cover those builds as well, but for now we're going to cover the power station. So we have the bridge at the front that will be for cars, obviously, to take you around the map. So I put the bridge there in front of the building. So the nuclear power plant makes 40,000 megawatts and all the waste is recycled into plutonium rods and sunk at the end to give me more tickets, so there is no waste problem to worry about. This is the main entrance. This is the doorway here for the first 8 cores, and then there's a door to the right and a door to the left which takes you onto some of the other areas where we're producing parts. So we'll go left first, I think. So here you can see it says production maintenance to the right and fuel rods to the left. So to the right on both entrances, facing this way, it's just a corridor that takes you down to the rest of the facility, which is the same on the other side. Here. And then on the other end you've got the parts. So encased uranium cells on this side, and uranium rods on this side. So let's take a look at the uranium rods. So as we come into here, again with the green beams and everything for decoration, but in here we have 10 of these producing uranium rods, which is fed out the front underneath all the way down that way, and the parts coming in are fed this way to feed all the machines. And just at the end here we have a sink, once again just for overflow, because we are actually making more fuel than we need. So the fuel comes down here and goes down underground, and any excess comes back up and gets put into the sink. Parts are being delivered by drone. Most, like 90% of the parts are being delivered by drone. On the other side we're making the encased uranium cells, and this is where it all starts. So we have 10 blenders making his encased cells, which is brought in partly by drone and partly by train. So the train here brings in all the acid. So the sulfuric acid and the nitric acid is dropped off by train from the acid factory, but we haven't got that far yet because I had to build that to make the power station. That'll be in a later video. But all the acid is dropped off here and it's fed in to the 10 blenders to produce the encased cells. The uranium, batteries and concrete is all brought in by drone. So as you can see from this angle, this is where the production starts. Everything comes in from this end, works its way through these machines, and we have our cells being created, which are then going underground to the next area where we make the fuel rods. So back at the entrance, this main door here takes you through to where the first 8 cores are. Each core is numbered from 1 to 8, and I had the cores just popping slightly through the wall Did some decoration. You can see in the back there where they are. Did some nice decoration inside, where you can see through the front glass panel here, showing you the cores being changed out. And going straight on will lead you to this main area here. So here we have the signs telling you to go back that way for the 1 to 8 cores. The uranium cells made in that direction, which we've looked at. The uranium fuel rods, which we've looked at. But it all connects from the front entrance. We had those side views here, the side corridors, which each side takes you back through to this part. Now in this section here, we have our fuel rods in here. They're encased on the other side, and these two sections connect like a second foyer. In here you get access to maintenance, and you get access to the rest of the build from this junction here. As you can see, we have a maintenance area on both sides of each ramp. And when we go through here, you get access to underneath the cores, seeing how they're being fed with the water pipes, with the lifts. And this runs all the way across. It also has a bit underneath where you can see all the fuel rods backed up nicely, filling all the machines, and all the waste makes its way to the waste processing area, which we'll get to very shortly. From the maintenance areas, you can get to both sides. So that over there is the first 8 cores, and then we can take a journey down there to get to the second 8 cores, which I'll show you shortly. Trying to keep into the theme with these areas here. So from the front foyer, you can get through these little corridors here, or you could go through the production areas at each side. They both bring you to this area here, back to this junction. So let's take a look at waste processing and plutonium production. So as we come through here, you come into a very large room where the waste is being sorted. So first of all, the waste comes in from this end, as you can see here. It goes into the blenders to make non-fissile uranium, which comes out at the other side, and the excess water that comes from that is just going into sinks. Just saves messing about trying to reuse the water elsewhere, having problems with pipes. It's just quicker and easier just to sink it. From there, the non-fissile uranium makes its way just underneath the floor to the other side. Along with some more waste. And it's turned into plutonium pellets. Once the plutonium pellets are made, they come out into these assemblers to make encased plutonium cells. Once them cells are made, they make their way underground, well, not underground, through the wall there. Once they're made, they go through the wall to the next area. Finally, they make their way here and get turned into plutonium fuel rods, which then come out at the front, and they get sent along belts which actually go around the factory for those foyer areas where you can see them going up and down the lifts and eventually to the sink. Now the reason there's so many is because they only go into the sink when the belts are full. So after many hours, it has backed up and built up like this, but it never fully backs up. It always gets put into the sink to make tickets. But I just thought it'd be a nice little decoration part for some of the areas of the factory. So as we leave this area now, we have another access to the maintenance area we was talking about before. And as you come around the corner, we have cores 9 to 16. Which again is like the other area, all named and numbered. The cores down each side. And right at the very end here, we just have a window that shows you where all the pipe work comes in for the water. So now let's take a look at the other entrance to the maintenance area. And down here once again, you get access to where all the water comes in, where all the parts come in, the fuel rods and the waste is exited. As you can see, the fuel rods are all backed up again. And the waste is minimal and getting recycled into the plutonium rods. This maintenance area runs all the way from one end to the other and gives you access to the plutonium area where we're managing all the waste, and then it continues to go further down where you can see all the pipe work to the other 8 cores. This build took a long time to decorate and took a long time to get running just right. Never built a power station without having problems halfway through. But the decoration side of it, I went for the green, with the green beams, the lights, the signs, just to give it that nuclear feel. On the outside was probably the biggest struggle. It was very boxy, very flat, and I had to look into several ideas of how to decorate it from the outside. As you can see, it's a pretty big build. Here you can see all the water pipes going into the build. We are actually producing more water than we need. We didn't want water running out and cause stopping, starting, etc. So I think we're actually producing double of what we need, but it also gives me room for expansion if needed. So there we have it, my take on a nuclear power plant. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave a like, a comment, maybe subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.